It is 7:22. You're listening to Byte Into It on Triple R this week with Cassie, Simon and Warren. If you do like getting out of town and doing a bit of camping, but you do still like to have your screens with you, one of the best ways to do all of the things is to get along to BuzzConf. Coming up, we have Ben and Rick, who've been involved from the start. It's a bit of a tradition, apparently. They've been here for every BuzzConf. Ben and Rick, thanks for coming in.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, lovely to be here again.
Before we do forget, for listeners tonight, you do apparently have access to BuzzConf. So do you want to get in with the promotion or the giveaway, if you have something?
We've got a lot of great things. We've got a coupon that all your listeners can take advantage of. It's special _Byte Into It. That gives 20% off all the tickets, which brings them down to $200 for the whole weekend conference. That's half the price it's been in previous years, which is something that we're really pleased we're able to do this time. Half the price, but it's going to be twice the size. We've got twice as many workshops, presentations, twice as many tracks, and still just $200 for the whole weekend. We're also giving away a ticket, so if you want to jump onto the website, buzzconf.io, you can enter the competition from there.
And to people who don't know too much about BuzzConf, how would you describe it? What's your kind of elevator pitch, I guess?
The elevator pitch, it's changed a lot over the years. Essentially,
it's like Jaws meets Superman meets...
Kind of is, but not, no. So Rick and I have been running conferences for over 10 years now. And one of the things that we found was that the best part of any conference is the hallway trek. So when you get out of the conference talks itself and get to meet people and hang out and learn things, build new networks. So we felt that taking the conference out of the city and moving it into the countryside, having a full weekend where everybody's in one space all together. The presenters are encouraged to stay all weekend as well, so you can hang around at the campfire at the end of the day and talk about artificial intelligence or 3D printing or whatever it is that they've been talking about and you have an interest in, and get a really good connection with the experts in the field.
Yeah, it's like a conference that you might go to learn about anything tech, but it's just so much more fun and so much more engaging. You come away with real connections, and you have your presentations and workshops during the day like any other event, but then at night it turns into a huge party. We have lots of live music and we have campfires, and everyone gets down and really makes great connections with the presenters and the other people that come, and then we do it all again the next night. And for the first time this year, we're going to do it for a third night as well.
So from what you're saying, it seems to be a little bit different though from other professional conferences that people might be to, especially this year where you've also got a children and family track. So it sort of seems like a wonderful festival of different ideas where you're actually learning stuff. But how do you integrate sort of the underage aspects into it?
So the family aspect has actually been there from the beginning. We've introduced VIP tickets on a Friday for in-depth workshops, but the family aspect was something that was really important to us from the outset. One of the things that Rick and I both see every day, especially in IT and within the conference scene, is that there are circles within our communities for whom access to conferences is really hard, specifically parents and single parents especially. So making it a family-friendly event was very important to make it accessible to as many people as possible. And also we figured that, as corny as it might sound, children are the future of technology as well. So bringing them along, getting them really excited. We all were excited about technology as children. And I guess it kind of brings us back into the childhood state as well as bringing children into the technologies of the future too.
It's great. It reminds us that we want to play with the tech, and it's when you play that you really make those connections and you remember stuff and you get excited and you bring that back to your workplace. This year we've got 2 kids tracks, which is an extension from last year, and it means that if you do bring kids, they can go off and they can have fun building robots, learning about rockets or electronics. And they're looked after for that portion of the day, so you can go and learn about deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, whatever your interests are. And then there's lots of points where you can come together as families as well. So you can build on those ideas. You can build yourself a self-driving robot with your family, and then play with that for the weekend.
What are the things that the venue allows you to do that you might not otherwise? Like you mentioned, firing off rockets. That's not something you can usually do at a conference centre. Is there things that you're excited about that just by simply being in a non-traditional venue, you can do that you might not otherwise be able to?
Absolutely. I mean, we're not at a conference centre, and that makes a big difference. When you're in a conference centre and you're looking at those four walls, the way you think about stuff that you're learning is about how do you apply it in an office setting. Our event is in a field. We have big marquees and we have a lot of infrastructure there. It's an old caravan site, so there's lots of power around the whole field. But it opens up your mind to different possibilities. So we do have a lot of things going on that take advantage of that space.
And incidentally, also, we've been told by people who've been to conferences in the city that despite the fact we're an hour outside of Melbourne, we have the best internet of any conference they've been to.
It was really quite a lot of fun last year. The night before the conference opened, when we realised we needed to upgrade the internet a little bit, we were bouncing up and down on the back of a tractor, digging a trench so we could lay another NBN cable into the field. And that's great. I mean, we had the first year we had 200 megabits up and down for 150 people, and you don't get that sort of connection in the conference centres in the city, and you need it at BuzzConf because most people brought 2 or 3 internet connected devices, and this year we're expecting maybe 500 people. So you need really, really good internet to look after 500 people and their 3 or 4 devices, their Minecraft servers. Their tablets and their phones and everything else they're going to bring, and all of the other IoT devices that we connect. We had about 100 sensors connected last year that people could play with, so people could map out which areas of the field were where the biggest parties were happening, where the hot spots were, quite literally. So all of that takes a great infrastructure that we're really lucky to be able to support. And we have a partner, Ocean Labs, that have been with us from the beginning that set all of this up for us. They're really great to work with.
Do you have, I guess, different demands in terms of the tracks or the speakers that that people want to have at BuzzConf compared to a city conference? Do you see similar themes? You mentioned that you go to a lot of conferences yourself.
So I guess the themes don't change. What we're interested in doesn't change. We bring access to that kind of information in a different way. We present that in a different way, and we provide it in a different atmosphere that allows people to learn more in depth, that they're able to connect more, I suppose, with people around them, discuss that over a longer period, so that the learning outcome is, I would say, a lot deeper.
Yeah, you find a lot of conferences that people disappear to their hotel room when the presentations have finished, and here there is no hotel room. You might go back to your tent, but your tent is likely pitched next to the person that's flown overseas to talk about artificial intelligence, and you don't want to go to sleep in your tent at that point. You want to keep talking with them. You want to build on your ideas, and we found that people were working on robotics on day 1 of the festival, and by day 2 they'd met people that work in machine learning or people that work in 3D printing, and that little robot they built in their workshop has now got a 3D printed chassis and can drive itself, just based on the conversations and the connections that people have at BuzzConf.
There was something on your website, though, speaking of tents, that got me a little bit excited. Now, I do kind of like being outdoors, but it's not the first thing on my list, and pitching my own tent isn't something that I'm super into. So for anyone who's listening and is like, oh, great, this sounds amazing, but I really don't want to camp, you do have some other options under your belts.
We do have a couple of other options. If you're okay with the idea of camping, but you just don't want to set up your own tent, I suspect you're probably referring to the glamping option that we have. So we're working with a fantastic organisation under Sky who will come along, set up the tent for you. It's got a bed set up, the doona's already on there, there's a welcome mat and a light, and you'll feel at home straight away.
These tents are amazing. They've got carpets, there's bedside cabinets and lights, and it's not just your camping mattress. This is a 3-foot high mattress. It's really, really comfortable, and in many ways that's better than your 5-star hotels, I think.
And we also set them all up in one area, so it almost feels like not so much exclusive, but it's the special zone, the people who came along and had it all set up for them already. So there's a bit of pampering.
You can do your discussions with people who also can't set up a tent, It's
perhaps, yeah.
Yeah, we've got other accommodation as well. So there's beds on site to sleep about 80 people. So we do have rooms as well. But we find we have a lot more fun when we camp. Not everyone does, and that's okay too. We're an inclusive environment.
You've got a field, tents. It's filled with tech, net everywhere. How does it go when it rains?
So we had a bit of rain last year, but people were very, very quick to scramble and set up the umbrellas. We're generally okay because we make sure that everything's set up in such a way that we can cope with that. We actually last year we live streamed a musician from Bucharest. And he was DJing out of Europe, and we were able to see him on the main stage at the festival. What we needed for that setup was a really, really low latency network connection, so we needed it under 10. And what we didn't really think about initially was that dew that forms on those wires is going to slow down the latency. But again, our great network partners were able to keep an eye on that sort of thing for us. So even when it comes to real-time streaming from the other side of the world, we've got the network that supports it.
I think also to add, when you think of a normal festival, you think of stages under tents and people in the rain. We actually set up marquees as conference rooms. So there's seating, it's set up properly, it's all watertight for the workshops and the talks. So when you're actually in the talks and the workshops themselves, you're completely protected from the weather. It's just when you're outdoors walking around between them that you might get caught by drizzle.
Well, it looks amazing. Do you still have tickets available? Can you still jump on?
We do still have tickets available. BuzzConf.io is the domain.
And what was the coupon code again?
Coupon is special_Byte into it.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for coming in, guys. Looking forward to seeing photos and reading some of the content. Do you put videos of the talks up at all, or?
Yeah, we have plenty of videos. We've got some exciting videos happening this year. We're actually having a documentary made about BuzzConf, and that's going to be put together over the weekend with a same-day edit. So we'll be showing that at the after party on the Sunday.
Amazing.
And if people are interested in finding out more, we actually have regular nights events as well. So if they want to pop along, tomorrow night is our next one. It's held at the Loop Bar in Melbourne, and we're going to have some people giving a bit of an intro to the talks that they're going to be giving at the festival.
Yeah, we call those BuzzConf nights, and you can find us on YouTube under the channel BuzzConf, and we've done about 35 of these, so there's quite an extensive back catalogue of the sort of people that you're likely to find at a BuzzConf festival.
Sounds awesome. It is 7:34. You're listening to Byte Into It on Triple R. We're going to hear from Big Effin' Robots and Most Likeable Song Ever. I think these guys are going to be at your conference, aren't they?
They are. They're headlining. It's fantastic. They came to us in 2015. They're back again this year, and we're very excited to have them back.